So if you are a board of director, can you please come on up? If you're an ambassador, can you please come on up? We want to appreciate you and thank you for all the work you've done. We can go a little faster than that. I'll stand in front of you. Thank you. Where are we going? There? There? Don't stand in front of the podium. Who told you not to stand in front of the damn podium?
There you go.
One side?
You say?
Over here.
Over here. Okay.
Just
Bringing up the new board member who doesn't know where he is.
See how good of a camp director I am? All right, so let's do a little roll call here. I've been around the country visiting a lot of the MOU partners, and we have a contingency where I'm from. So Dr. Vufam's thing was from SoCal. Do we have a lot of people from SoCal here? Yeah. That was kind of weak for SoCal. I'm gonna outdo you. What about the Utah people? We'll let the easy people go, the East Coast people. Yeah. And I'm gonna ask, what about our Chicago contingency? And who did I miss? Anybody? That's right. There you go. The Texas group, the North Cal group. Awesome. You want to go? North Cal? Texas? There you go. And Las Vegas. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's get started. I'd like to introduce our first awesome founding member, Jimmy Ferguson. He's going to introduce our first speaker. As many of you know, Jimmy is the owner-operator of McDonald's, but I'll bet you didn't know. He has owned and operated 23 McDonald's restaurants in Austin and other Central Texas cities for the past 27 years. I love him. You love it. I'm loving it. Please welcome our most popular board member, Jimmy Ferguson.
You're so good. Good evening, everybody. What a crowd. Shirley, you and your staff has done such a wonderful job. Thank you again. It's really my privilege to introduce today one of our speakers. And Congresswoman Chu, Judy Chu, has been in Congress since 2009. And she first served in the California Congressional District, District 32. Then with a redistricting in 2011 and 12, she ran on District 27, and she's been in the House of Representatives ever since. Now, she also serves on the Powerful House Ways and Means Committee and the Small Business Committee, and she has always been very passionate about our community, and not only supporting, but engaging, and really been a hero to our community. And she has her history and public services go beyond just serving in the House. She has served as a school board member, as a city council member, and 3 terms as a mayor of Monterey Park City. And of course, also served in the California State Assembly. So it's really an honor, Representative Chu, to introduce her to as a guest speaker. Representative Chu. My favorite job.
Well, hello, National ACE. It's so incredible to see this many people here all fighting to make sure that Asian Pacific Islander small businesses get their due and can be as successful as they can be. And it's so great to be here for your very first in-person National ACE conference right here in Washington, D.C., the heart of where the key decisions are made for America. I just really have to commend you for your growth. I remember when National ACE first started, but under the direction of Chi-Ling Tong and so many others, you have grown so much, and I was just so impressed when I walked in and saw this incredibly elegant event right here, and what I know will be a fantastic conference, that you are really going somewhere. And I really want to thank you because actually National ACE has kept in contact with us. I am the chair of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, and National ACE has done an annual report on small businesses, has advocated for certain needs for small businesses, and we, the members of Congress, always listen. I am especially aware of the needs that you point to because I'm a member of the House Small Business Committee, and your input is especially very welcome there. I'm, in fact, able to take back to the committee the ideas that you have, the issues that you have, and that is very critical because that is where the decisions are being made. And it is because of you who advocate tirelessly for the community that we are able to enact meaningful legislation in Congress that directly benefits AAPI small businesses. During Asian Pacific American Heritage Month back in May, we were able to pass the bipartisan infrastructure law, but I was very proud that we were able to insert something that was a priority for us for a very long time, and that is to make the Minority Business Development Agency a permanent entity. And at the start of the pandemic, in one of Congress's first COVID relief bills, I was able to insert a provision that would provide the resources of SBA for the COVID in the 10 most utilized languages, including the Asian languages. I also worked with my colleagues to extend the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, or EIDL program, and create new programs like the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, to help businesses stay afloat and keep their employees on payroll. But there was a problem right away. As that program started, we saw that too many PPP loans were going to the big businesses who had pre-existing relationships with the major banks. And I knew that we had to step in because this wasn't fair to small businesses who were trying to weather the storm. So what we did in the Small Business Committee was create a $60 billion set-aside just for community banks and small lenders who were most likely to work with small businesses that were owned by people of color. And I'm pleased to say that this strategy worked. In fact, the small businesses and lenders eligible for these set-asides have now actually processed the majority of PPP loans and total dollars. These funds have been so critical for AAPI businesses that have fought to stay afloat during the pandemic. And we did not stop there. The American Rescue Plan, signed into law last year, made more entities eligible for PPP. More businesses received EIDL advance grants that don't have to be paid back. Underserved communities have been connected to small business assistance through a new program called the Community Navigators. And restaurants were provided with a historic new $30 billion grant program, the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. In fact, that program was so popular that we ran out of funds almost halfway through. And so that's why earlier this year, we passed a new package that included $42 billion more for restaurants and hard-hit businesses. I'm thrilled to say that these programs were a tremendous success and helped make sure that small businesses could stay afloat during these difficult times. Also, though, for AAPI communities, there was another issue, and that was the surge in anti-Asian hate. But as our community always has, we stayed strong. We pushed back against this unfettered hate and violence, and I'm so proud about what we have been able to accomplish these past couple of years, because it has increased and showcased our resiliency and determination in the face of adversity. In cooperation with many of you today, we worked hard from the very beginning. We did press conferences, hearings, and legislation. And in fact, we led the effort to combat anti-Asian hate through the passage of a bill, the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act, which President Biden signed into law last year. We continue to work closely with the Department of Justice to ensure that this law is being implemented to its fullest extent. And just a couple of months ago, President Biden signed into law Congressmember Grace Meng's AAPI Museum Study Bill, which would start the process for creating the first national museum dedicated to Asian Pacific American history. And we did that because, yes, because, as we all know, AAPI history is American history, right? And wouldn't it be great to have a Smithsonian museum just devoted to AAPI history and contributions? But we couldn't do this without the partnership between our Congressional Asian Pacific Caucus, or CAPAC, and this partnership that we have with National ACE. So thank you, Chi-Ling Tong, and the entire National ACE team. I'm so grateful for your tireless work on behalf of AAPI small businesses, and I look forward to our continued work together. It's been an honor to join you tonight. Thank you, and have a wonderful conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome National ACE Chief Operating Officer, Daniel Oliver.
Hey everyone, it's so good to see you. I'm happy to introduce from the Mayor's Office here in DC, Ben de Guzman, who's the Executive Director of the Mayor's Office on Asian and Pacific Islander Affairs.
Thank you, Dana. How's everybody doing tonight? Great. There was a little bit of a roll call earlier. How many people are here visiting to DC? How many people is your first time to DC? Great. Spend lots of money. No, I did want to thank the staff and the team at National ACE for inviting me here. We had a conversation a while ago about the fact that you're coming here for the first time to do your national conference in person, the historicness of today, and so I'm so glad that I could be here on behalf of our Mayor Muriel Bowser. So DC is a unique city. We are currently struggling to become the 51st state. So if you're not familiar with that struggle, Google it. You know, as we return, DC is open. So again, I've followed our mayor around as she's come to other events like this. She spoke at the National Association of Asian American Professionals earlier this summer. NAP is in the house. And so, you know, I'm here to deliver the message that she delivered there too, and that is that we're hiring. So my office has openings. There are openings throughout the city. So careers.dc.gov, obviously dc.com for a sense of the local flavor of DC, which I really hope that you're able to take advantage of. Everyone comes here and we love Judy, we love our congressional members, but there's such a local flavor of DC that people often miss. And so I'm hoping to invite and challenge you to experience that while you're here. So, and from where I sit in the mayor's office now, I get to see kind of what that looks like as someone who used to be where you sit. I'm the first director in our office in our 35 years who's come from the National Asian American Advocacy space. So some of our colleagues here, whether it's Chiling or Bill Amata or some of the other folks or Daniel, I remember watching Daniel on the Hill, used to see me in some of the in-campus spaces, but doing this local work has begun to let me see a different corner of our AAPI community, and that's actually the message that I wanted to leave you with here tonight. Because a lot of times the folks, you all that are here tonight, are standing on the shoulders of giants, right? We're standing on the shoulders of our immigrant parents who came here with $20 and a dream, but for every financial consultant who's doing amazing cutting-edge work on Wall Street, there's an auntie who created the first school here in the DMV to teach folks not just how to, not just giving fish, but how to fish and how to create their own nail salons, right? For every entrepreneur who's become the first API woman to slay in her own space on Silicon Valley, there's an uncle in Chinatown, in a Chinatown takeout spot, who helped make mumbo sauce a thing. If you don't know what mumbo sauce is, Google that as well, and have some on your chicken wings. But as we build community here, and as we sing the praises of the vanguards of innovation, we should know, again, we stand on the shoulders of the immigrant entrepreneurs before us. Sometimes those shoulders are stooped, but they're never bowed. So in that spirit of resilience, I want to invite you, again, welcome to DC, enjoy your time here, and have a great conference. Thank you very much.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we present the President and CEO of National ACE, Ms. Shling Tong.
Good evening. Wow. It is really, really my pleasure to see each one of you here. Thank you so much for coming to our conference. And thank you all believing our mission. We are here for one purpose, to honor our AAPI small business owners and to support them to thrive and succeed. Before I make a short remarks, I want to introduce you a very special guest here tonight, my husband, Joe Zabat. Last week, he was nominated by President Biden as a board of directors of Amtrak. I don't know what happened. The next day, railroad union went on strike. But I'm so glad it's over. I want to thank all our affiliate chamber and partners. We have about 100 affiliate AAPI chamber and partners throughout the country. Together, we elevate the AAPI community's voice in DC. And together, we have about 20 roundtable series in the country. And together, because of all your efforts, a total of 600 AAPI small business owners registered for this conference. Give you a round of applause. I think this is the biggest AAPI business owner gathering since COVID, and I am just so grateful. I want to thank all the corporate partners. Because of your support, we'll be able to conduct 150 virtual webinar and training for consultation to help more than 16,000 AAPI small business owners in order to make them recover and stay resilient. National ACE has dispensed about $6.5 million grant awards to AAPI small business owners in all 50 states. Thank you so much for all the corporate sponsors. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, I want to thank Board Chair Karen Ng for her leadership and entire Board of Directors to make this happen. And I want to give a special shout out to the next gen leader and the group. We have Yin, Kevin, Choi, Francis, John, Melody, and led by Angie Chen and Kevin. Please stand up, our next gen leaders. They are the reason we are here. We want to cultivate all next gen young leaders, young entrepreneurs. So any one of you here, please join their chapters. We'd love to have you to be a part of our next gen. Last but not the least, I want to thank all the government officials, especially from SBA. We have so many regional administrators here. Can you stand up, all the regional administrators? Please wave your hands, all over there. Thank you so much. During our roundtable for 20 cities, they are always there with us. Thank you, thank you. Of course, one of the most important partners is the Minority Business Development Agency. I used to work MBDA. I still consider MBDA as my home. All MBDA staff, please wave your hand. Give them a round of applause. Thank them for their great work. We have Carrie here, we have Emily, we have Ron. Thank you so much for your great work. And it is indeed my honor to introduce you our keynote speaker today, Undersecretary Don Crivens. Secretary Crivens was confirmed by the U.S. Senate on August 4, 2022. So you know how busy he is. I believe this is the first ever event for you to appear. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He leads the Minority Business Development Agency in its service of the nation's 9.7 million minority business entrepreneurs. Following the agency's historic elevation in authority and influence as a mandate by the Minority Business Development Act of 2021. When I worked with MBDA at that time, there's only one thing we want to do, is because we want this agency as a permanent agency. And he did it. Thank you, Don. We really appreciate. We are just so grateful you're able to come to join us. I know this week is a mad week, how busy you are, but you're one of us. You will fight for us. Thank you so much. Let us welcome in Secretary Don Crivens. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good evening. Y'all can do better than that. Good evening. All right. Good to see all of you. First of all, let me just say it's a pleasure and an honor to be here, Jiling. This is my first event as Undersecretary, and even hearing it from her brought up emotion. It's a pleasure to be here. I wanted to be here as my first public engagement because I chose National ACE. Because as Jiling said, National ACE is one of our most important partners at the Minority Business Development Agency. And I knew, first week on the job, when Jiling Tong calls you, you better report for duty. So I was very, very clear that I needed to be here. Under your leadership, President, National ACE continues to just be the leader. It continues to guide the work that we are doing at MBDA as a nation. And Chiling, I'll say, your leadership and National ACE, it's not only good for the AAPI community, you are also a leader in the entire minority business space. Thank you. I want to recognize some friends who are here today. As Chiling said, this is also MED Week, Minority Enterprise Development Week, and so the MBDA will be across town for a couple of days this week, but I know we've got some of our operators and directors and project managers who are here as well. I look forward to seeing you at our conference as well. I see my very dear friend, another one of the phenomenal leaders in this minority business development space, and that is Ms. Ying McGuire, the president and CEO of NMSDC. Great to see you, Yang. Again, I've only been on the job for 2 weeks, but I will tell you, I have learned very quickly that if you want to get things done in this job, you surround yourself with qualified, competent Asian American women. And so my first act on the job, Ying and Tong, was to appoint Ms. Carrie Lee as my chief of staff at the Minority Business Development Agency. Let's talk a little bit about the American entrepreneurial ecosystem. Let's talk a little bit about our history. As we know, for far too long, the American entrepreneurial ecosystem benefited some businesses more than others. Some would even argue that it benefited some businesses and didn't benefit others. We saw that especially during COVID. As we struggled through this pandemic that hit our country, we saw minority businesses especially be disproportionately affected by the pandemic. Minority businesses suffered from a lack of personnel and supply chains and rising costs and just the sickness itself, the illness itself. And then we saw this hatred that Representative Chu talked about. As if the pandemic wasn't enough, we saw the unfortunate byproducts of the pandemic. The wave of hate and discrimination, especially against those in the AAPI community. We saw outright violence against men and women in their businesses. Truly un-American. Truly un-American. We are a better nation than that. And our men and women struggled through that. Historically, things have been disproportionate for a while in our country as it relates to minority businesses. As an African American growing up in the deep south of Louisiana, my parents were entrepreneurs my entire life. For 4 decades, I saw them struggle to build a business in southwest Louisiana and witnessed them struggle like all business owners do, but also saw the unique struggles that people of color face as well. I was there on those nights when we wondered if we could make payroll. I was there on those nights when we asked our employees if they could wait an extra week to get paid because we didn't want to shut the doors down, but we couldn't get a loan. We couldn't access capital to keep the doors open. And so I saw firsthand the challenges that minority business owners face, all small business owners face, but particularly those that minority business owners face. But ladies and gentlemen, despite those challenges, we're still here. Despite those challenges, minority business owners, like all American entrepreneurs, understand the drive, that entrepreneurial dream that the American dream is based upon. We know its potential if given a fair shot, if given a fair shake. My parents worked hard every day, still do, to build their businesses. And I see that same perseverance on the eyes and on the faces of many of the men and women in this room today. To me, that is what defines entrepreneurialism in America. That is the heart of an American entrepreneur. The drive to push forward, to create, burns in the hearts of all of our entrepreneurs. And when you combine that spirit with the perseverance in the face of discrimination, that defines the American minority entrepreneur. I'm grateful for my parents' perseverance. I'm grateful for their tenacity. It afforded me and my siblings the benefits of this great country. I want to see that for you and your families. I want to see that for our next generation, as Chiling talked about, of our entrepreneurs. For 53 years, the Minority Business Development Agency existed by executive order. It was a temporary idea, a temporary agency created by President Nixon. And it was carried forward by every succeeding president. There was never any certainty to the men and women who worked at the agency. You didn't know if today was the last day or this was the last president. Didn't know if you'd still be standing. Despite that uncertainty, though, the MBDA persevered. The MBDA made a difference in the lives of so many of our minority business owners. Just last year, the MBDA National Network helped businesses secure over $700 million in capital, $2 billion in contracts, and over $300 million in export deals. As it relates to the AAPI community specifically, in 2021, MBDA helped secure over $75 million in capital. That's the kind of impact, ladies and gentlemen, we had in 53 years as a temporary agency. Well, I have some good news. We are temporary no more. As Ms. Tong mentioned in November of 2021, President Biden signed into law the Minority Business Development Act. This law is a fulfillment of the president's commitment to the minority business community, the promise to invest in the minority business community like never before. For the first time, we are permanent. The act mandates three things, and I want you to listen because I need your help. The act mandates three things. First, it established new leadership. It established an undersecretary for minority business at the Department of Commerce. That's me. Second, it expanded MBDA's footprint and capacity to reach all of the nation's 9.7 million minority business enterprises by authorizing the creation of rural business centers, as well as expanding our footprint with regional offices. And so I will be relying on you all to help us meet people where they are, realizing that all minorities do not live in urban America. Some of us live on reservations and in the country where I come from. We want to meet those people where they are as well. Lastly, the Minority Business Development Act elevated and expanded the authority of the MBDA to drive lasting systemic change for the minority business community. Now MBDA not only has the opportunity, we have the duty to help. We have the duty to improve the system that you're working in. Just think about the impact we're going to have, ladies and gentlemen, as a permanent agency. It's my mission as the first Undersecretary for Minority Business Development in this country to elevate this agency and to make them a leader in this space. And in order to create a system that benefits all of our entrepreneurs of our great nation. When I inventoried my life, when I thought about the things that I had done in my life, served in the state legislature in Louisiana and fought for businesses of color there, worked as a chief of staff in the United States Senate at the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Committee, worked at the National Urban League, one of our nation's long-standing civil rights organizations dealing with economic empowerment. I knew that I had to seize this opportunity to serve. And ladies and gentlemen, I am here to serve you. I was honored to receive unanimous consent by the United States Senate. That doesn't happen these days very often. Thank you. Brothers and sisters, systemic change does not happen immediately. And so I'm very clear that it's going to take time for me to accomplish those goals and for us to accomplish those goals. It's going to take years. Sometimes systemic change takes decades. But with the guarantee that the MBDA will now be here, will be permanent, we can implement lasting policies. This is the only way we can truly give every American business an opportunity, the tools and opportunities they need to succeed. And I understand, and I want to make this point, we understand that the minority business community is not a monolith. Not all minorities face the same challenges in this country. We have to understand our differences so that we can pinpoint solutions. What challenges do Korean business owners face? How can we help Vietnamese-owned businesses access global markets? What can we do for Hawaiian-owned businesses to help expand their access to contract opportunities? I understand those differences. The men and women who work at the MBDA, we get those differences. We are going to work with you to pinpoint solutions to make sure that we're reaching all of our minority community. But the national ACE gets it probably better than anyone else because, Chiling, as you know, we need data to back this up. And National ACE is at the forefront of not just advocating for better data management and collection, but you're actually rolling up your sleeves and getting it done yourselves. You're taking it upon yourselves to collect and analyze data to better understand the challenges facing the AAPI community. That's what our nation will need in order to make lasting change. Real data so we can pinpoint real solutions. In closing, my hope for this nation is that we see an economy that is representative of all of us. With the passage of the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act, we have a once-in-a-generation opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to deliver for the American people, and the MBDA is ready to get to work. Now, this is a bold mission. I can't do it alone. I will need your help. I can't be your advocate if I don't listen, and so I'm always ready to listen. I need your help. It's not going to be easy. Changing the game is never easy, but we're going to get the job done because it's what the American people deserve. I'm going to need National ACE to be the partner, and other great organizations like National ACE. You know what it takes to make meaningful, sustainable change, Chilling, and I'm going to need your help. With partners like you, I know we have what it takes to lead the Minority Business Development Agency in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, help is no longer on the way. The MBDA is here. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Give it a minute. Oh, now I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage co-founder of Boba Guys and National ACE board member, Andrew Chow.
Thanks. I have no idea how I'm going to follow Undersecretary. That energy was just, is this too informal, but off the hook. It was amazing. So, all right. So, good evening. I'm Andrew Chow. As the wonderful announcer just said, I'm the owner and I started a company called Boba Guys, but I'm also on the board of National ACE. Our next speaker, hopefully, can really follow up my low energy because he's serving his first term in Congress and he represents Hawaii's 2nd Congressional District. Congressman Kai Kahili serves on 2 House committees, the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, one of the largest committees in Congress that has jurisdiction all over modes of transportation, and the Armed Services Committee, which has jurisdiction over U.S. defense policy, including ongoing military operations. Congressman Kahili is a combat veteran, a pilot, and a commissioned officer in the Hawaii Air National Guard, U.S. Air Force, where he continues to serve as a lieutenant colonel at Hickam Air Force Base, Hawaii. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Congressman Kahili.
Aloha. Let's try it one more time. Aloha. Aloha. Right on. You know, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I just got to say, for our Undersecretary of Commerce, Mr. Don Cravens, how about another round of applause for him and what he's going to do at the Minority Business Development Agency to survive the United States Senate with a flawless confirmation is impressive. And I think it epitomizes the expertise and the experience that you have, sir, to lead our minority businesses across the country and to be that representative. You know, for me, it's an honor to be here today. Like I was introduced, my name is Congressman Kaili'i Kahele from the great state of Hawaii and its 2nd Congressional District. See some fellow Pacific Islanders in the audience as well. You know, I happen to be the 2nd Native Hawaiian ever to represent Hawaii in the United States Congress, following in the footsteps of Senator Akaka. And that's a big deal for our Native Hawaiian Pacific Islanders, our Asian Americans, our AAPI community that has representation, you know, in our nonprofit community, in our business community, and in our highest levels of government. And so I'm honored to be here this evening to welcome all of you to this National ACE annual conference. You know, this year's theme, which is strength in diversity, you know, it rings true today, perhaps more than any other time or at any other time in our nation's history. While our differences, and they oftentimes are political, they're economic, they're social, they tend to divide us, when we celebrate what makes each of us unique, we create a safe space for enriched conversations that can enable ourselves to identify common goals that can improve the lives of our communities, of our families, and the states and districts that we live in. The National ACE Convention is an excellent leader in cultivating connections and creating new opportunities for the AA, and I like to add in NHPI, thanks to President Biden, the first president in history to add Native Hawaiians to the AA NHPI acronym. And we do that to honor our AAPI or our AA NHPI business owners and our entrepreneurs. And you know what started out as a small cohort of business executives about 10 years ago, as a matter of fact, in 2012, has grown into an incredibly influential and a very productive national organization that has pushed for advancements in the AA NHPI community. It has worked with Congress, it has worked with federal agencies on advocacy efforts, on pushing out grants, supported businesses that were negatively affected by COVID-19. It's hosted workshops to help educate entrepreneurs. And these are just a few things that the National ACE has supported in our communities. These actions have demonstrated a resiliency and a determination in the AA NHPI community. And they've really illustrated that when we work together as a nation and as a community, that we all have the strength, we all have the capability to make a difference in the lives of all Americans. The AA NHPI community is extremely diverse, it's extremely immense, it spans a multitude of living experiences, of stories, of identities. My home state of Hawaii stands as an incredible example of the diversity of which our communities and the collective legacies of our kupuna, those that have come before us, stand on. And they've created a unique social fabric in our communities that strive to make it brighter, it strives to make it stronger and more equitable. We've shown that when our familial origin stories, although sometimes may be different, and in Hawaii we say, you know, we might have all come here on different canoes, but we're all in the same va'a, or all in the same canoe now together. How can we work together for the well-being of our working families and our communities? And the National ACE does that. It embodies these core values, and it adds an incredible value to the prosperity of our diverse communities. Your important work, each and every one of you, uplifts the voices of our AA NHPI community. And for that, I'm truly grateful. You know, together we can continue to increase the diversity, the inclusion within our professional lives and the various fields of businesses that we're all in. And when we bring more voices like this into conversations, we foster an economy that works for all. And the way we do this is through strength in diversity. And so, mahalo nui loa. Thank you so much for having me and for allowing me to speak in this event this evening. I really believe that we can strive to prosper more economic development, more support for our business communities within our Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities, so that we can support our businesses, the entrepreneurs, for many, many years to come, and provide them as many opportunities we can to be successful. And so I just thank you so much, and I wish you a great convention. Mahalo nui loa, and aloha.
And now, please welcome back Board Chair Dr. Karen Ang.
Thank you, voice of God, Jenny Lee Lau. Jennifer Kim serves as the Associate Administrator for the Office of Field Operations, and she's the first Asian American woman to lead the national network of 10 regional and 68 district offices of the U.S. Small Business Administration. All right, small businesses, you got to listen up on this. Got you? SBA field offices provide small businesses access to programs and services in coordination with resource partners, lenders, and other local economic development organizations. In fact, Associate Administrators Kim's job is critical since the SBA distributed over $390 billion worth of aid during the pandemic, during the COVID Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program to nearly 4 million small businesses. Clap. $390 billion. So if you are a small business owner, I highly recommend that you get in touch with Associate Director Kim and stay plugged in with your local SBA contacts. At this time, I would like to ask Associate Administrator Jennifer Kim to join me on stage. Good job.
Thank you so much. Oh, am I tall enough for this? Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Thank you for that lovely introduction, and thank you so much, National ACE, for not only having me here, but holding such a great event for the community. I don't know where she went, but I want to thank Chi-Ling for always being such a great leader. She's somewhere in the back, always on the move, that woman, for hosting such a great event. I also want to recognize Ying McGuire, who is on SBA's Council for Underserved Communities, and thank you so much for your leadership there. And also thank Undersecretary Cravens. It's hard to see with the lights like right at you, but for MBD for always being such a good partner with the SBA. So as Karen said, my name's Jennifer Kim. I'm the Associate Administrator for the Office of Field Operations at the Small Business Administration. As she said, we have 10 regional offices and 68 district offices out in the field. So we actually are kind of unique as a federal agency in that we have staff on the ground whose whole job it is to work with businesses where they're at in communities. In my background, I don't actually come from a business background. I come from an outreach background. And I think the reason that, I was asked to do this job is because SBA is kind of at a transition point right now. So, working to make sure that we are reaching even more businesses from underserved communities. Actually, I'm going to issue just a small correction from the number that was just said, but a lot of folks who didn't know us before the pandemic definitely know us now. Under the leadership of President Biden and Administrator Guzman, the SBA, and our very tireless, hardworking staff and civil servants across the country actually distribute over $450 billion in pandemic relief. Yes. Through a variety of programs, whether that was through the PPP program or the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. And so we know that we were able to reach even more small businesses than we ever had before. Now that we want to do even better. What do people call it now? We want to glow up, or we want to, just level ourselves up here, right? And how can we reach even more businesses now that people are kind of like, oh, PPP, SBA, I kind of know what that is. It actually helped to increase people's name recognition with the SBA and their level of trust in us. Because just to be totally honest, as a government agency, sometimes when you come calling, people are like, I don't want to talk to you. You're government. I don't know you. I don't trust you. I don't like to, pay my taxes or whatever the thing is. But, I mean, whatever your issue is. But the SBA, actually, we found people's level of trust went up with us and level of recognition went up with us because of all the work we did to support small businesses. So right now, we want to take this moment to increase people's awareness and hopefully get more people involved with our core programs, whether that's our core loan programs that existed long before the pandemic. So some people might know about what's called our 7A or 504 loan programs. We also have micro grants available. But for businesses that are looking for access to capital that might not get funding from a traditional lender, we hope to help you. We are also hoping to get more businesses from underserved communities into the federal contracting space. So the federal government is the largest purchaser of goods and services in the world. Probably that is not surprising, but let me just say that again. The federal government is the largest purchaser of goods and services in the world. So President Biden and Administrator Guzman are really hoping to use that power and open the doors for small businesses to be able to access that as well. And over the next, I think tomorrow, we have several of our other SBA staff that are going to be joining different panels, including Mike Fong, who's the regional administrator for the Pacific Northwest, and Aditi Dussault, who's a senior advisor to the administrator. So if you're not already going to those panels, I encourage you to do so. And before I close, I also want to say the backbone, the lifeblood of the SBA is our district offices. We were not able to bring all of our district offices here to you today, but all of our regional administrators, all 10 of them are in the room right now. We've been actually planning a regional meeting for the last couple months, and when the National ACE meeting we found out about it, you're like, no, this is the perfect time for us to not only do a meeting but come in so all of you all can meet your regional administrators here. So I'm going to call them out. They're all back there hanging out near the food in the bar, obviously. So I'm just going to say the Administrator Guzman, she is a real visionary, and she is really dedicated to reaching underserved communities, and she knows that in order to do that, it also means changing who the federal government looks like. So I'm just going to say I'm the first Asian American woman to do this position of Associate Administrator. And we have the most diverse regional administrator team, I think, in SBA history. So of the 10 regional administrators, I'm going to get the numbers wrong, I think 7 out of 10 are people of color. And we've got almost half are women, so I want to just make sure everybody knows who they are, and please just go talk to them after this is over so you can find out how they can potentially help you in your regions. So Mike Vlasich from Region 1, which is New England. Marlene Cintron from Region 2, which is New York, New Jersey, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands. Region 3, John Fleming. You're in his region right now, so welcome to Region 3. From Pennsylvania down to Virginia and over to West Virginia. Region 4, Alan Thomas, who's got the Southeast. Region 5, Jerry Aglipai, the first Filipino-American regional political appointee regionally. Region 5 is the Midwest. Region 6, where you at? Ted James, who's got the Central South, I would say. Region 7, Versi Lark, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, Iowa. Region 8, Ekta Marcoulier, who we're pretty sure is the first Indian American regional administrator from Colorado. Region 9, Elmi Bermejo, California, Arizona, Nevada, Hawaii, and the Pacific Islands, Guam. And Region 10, last but not least, Mike Fong, Pacific Northwest and Alaska. So again, please take advantage of the district offices. You know, even after you leave this conference this week, they really are there to help you in whatever your small business needs may be. And I'll just close with a little story. So I've been doing a lot of travel over the last couple months. I did a site visit to New York City, visited with various businesses in Chinatown, and then actually somehow ended up at like the only Korean restaurant in Chinatown, which any Koreans out here in the audience? Okay. So went to this Korean restaurant owner who was a client of one of our resource partners in the SBA network, and he was telling me, and I was mostly understanding his Korean, but that he just got a phone call one day from one of our resources partners during the pandemic who said, do you need assistance? We can help you with a variety of pandemic programs. And I think he got PPP, RRF, and I think COVID EIDL as well. And he, immigrated here in the 90s. He actually came here to do design work, and then somewhere along the way became a restaurant owner. And, he said things were pretty tough. And when he got that call and that kind of opened the relationship with the SBA and our programs, and he kind of got one assistance after another, and it meant that he didn't have to lay anybody off, he didn't have to close his doors. He said to me, all these programs seem so great. And he said, 여기가 이 나라가 참 좋은 나라라고 생각을 했습니다. So he was just like, this country is such a great country. And I had no idea until I got this phone call from an SBA resource partner. So, I just want to encourage all of you to take advantage of the reach that you have and ask you to do us a favor and try to tell more people about the work that we do. We need partners like you to be trusted messengers in the community. So thank you in advance for all your hard work on that. And again, please take the time to say hello to some of our regional administrators while they're here. Thanks, everybody.
Please welcome to the stage National ACE's Senior Director of Corporate Affairs, Janet Alakpala.
Thank you, Jennifer, for your remarks. It's so helpful to know that we have SBA in our corner, especially as small business owners. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great time. My name is Janet Alakpala. I am the Senior Director of Corporate Affairs for National ACE, and I'm happy to be here with all of you this evening. It's such a party atmosphere. It's so awesome to see everybody. It's like a big party to have everyone here tonight. We hope that you're enjoying tonight's kickoff to our AAPISTRONG annual conference. National ACE is fortunate to have many of our corporate partners that look beyond positive brand awareness and publicity. And the corporate partners here in this room tonight are the partners that believe that contributing to an underserved and overlooked business community is an investment towards growth and stability for the future. Our organization would like to acknowledge the following sponsors for their commitment to the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander business community. So please hold your applause while we recognize our corporate sponsors here tonight. And if we can have our corporate sponsors stand, I know there's a lot of activity going on, but we want to acknowledge you because without you, this whole conference would not be possible. So if Comcast and NBC Universal are here, thank you. Carvana, Verizon, MGM Grand Resorts, Lyft, I know we have our friends from Lyft, General Motors, and Fidelity Investments. Thank you so much for your support. Also, at the gold and silver levels, we'd like to acknowledge McDonald's, and I know one of our board members from McDonald's is here, Jimmy Ferguson, UPS, who you'll hear from tonight, BNY Mellon, Bank of America, and PayPal. Also to our platinum sponsors, Toyota. I hear Toyota in the house. All right, EY, if you're here, thank you, EY. Google, we've got Google over here, and Meta. Thank you all. As for our premier sponsor, we're really fortunate to have the Coca-Cola Company support our annual event. And last but not least, let's give a big round of applause to our overall presenting sponsor for this year's AAPISTRONG annual conference, Wells Fargo. So thank you, Wells Fargo, for supporting us and helping us make this conference a reality. At this time, I would like to invite some of our representatives to share brief remarks, and I want to tell everybody here that's attending, if you see anybody, any one of our corporate sponsors, walking around the conference and enjoying the conference, please thank them, because without them, we wouldn't be getting together tonight. I want to invite some of our sponsors and representatives. I'd like to invite our presenting sponsor from Wells Fargo. He's a friend of ours here at National ACE, Mr. Ruben Morales, Senior Vice President of External Engagement, Diverse Segments, Representation, and Inclusion. Let's give it up for Ruben Morales.
Thank you. It just rolls off the tongue, huh? Well, thank you, Janet. I know that title just rolls off the tongue. Hey, everybody, can I get your attention for 1 second? Thank you. I'm sorry. My boss doesn't think I work very hard because I come to a lot of conferences and events and shake hands, and that's really my job. So I just wanted to assure her, if you could help me maybe, if you could take out your cameras. Do you all mind taking out your cameras and taking a photo of me and then getting it to Chilling or Janet, and we can send it to her to show her how hard I'm working. So I'll give you a second to position. Ready? Just... Okay, thank you. Thank you. I just want to say, what I don't want to say is like brag on Wells Fargo as being the bank with the most branches in the country. I don't want to talk about PPP, how we gave the lowest average loans to the smallest businesses that needed it. I don't want to talk about how we gave over $400 million to CDFIs and organizations like National ACE to help small businesses. I don't want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is the staff at ACE, Chilling and her team, and what a great job that they do that makes it so easy to invest in National ACE, helping small businesses across the country. So Wells Fargo is really proud to be here. Looking forward to a great conference. Thank you all for being here.
All right, thank you so much, Ruben. And now I'd like to invite our platinum sponsor from Google, Chanel Hardy, Head of Civil Rights. Let's give it up for Chanel.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to see all of you you made it to this part of the program. We'll be quick. I'm Chanel. This is my colleague, Clarissa. We're from Google. We're excited to have been partnering with National ACE for several years now. And I just came to say thank you. There are a couple of major initiatives that we've been working on. Grow with Google, that's our initiative to get people, especially business owners, access to more digital skills and credentials so they can keep their businesses going even through the pandemic. And National ACE has been an incredible partner to us with Grow with Google. So you have run more than 40 training events and trained more than 3,000 small business owners in just a couple of years. So we look forward to doing so much more together. Just recently, we announced in partnership with National ACE that we have a security initiative that was actually developed by a group of Asian American Googlers who wanted to give back to the community in the aftermath of so much anti-Asian American violence. And so with Google Nest, we are offering free Nest camera kits and security, free installation and service costs for eligible business owners. You have to sign up by October 31st, so Google it or talk to someone at National ACE. And with that, I just hope you enjoy the rest of the conference. We'll be around. We'll see you some more. But thank you for everything that you do. Thank you, Chiling. Thank you, the board. Thank you, Daniel and Janet.
I know everyone's really excited to converse and talk. If we can just take a few more minutes to listen to our sponsors tonight, because without them we wouldn't have this conference. I'd like to invite our bronze sponsor from UPS, Deborah Wilson, Director of Marketing for the Diverse Customer Segment.
Thank you for being here. I had like 3 minutes of perfectly prepared remarks, but I have just been so inspired by everyone else that has come before me that right now I'm at the point where all I can do is introduce myself. So I'm Deborah Wilson, and I have the pleasure of working with minority-owned businesses and women-owned businesses in the United States, and it's a personal passion of mine. I've worked for UPS for 16 years. I'm so proud to work for an organization that really understands the value and the power and the importance of diversity and inclusion. And it's not just about supplier diversity, it's not just about building communities, it's about our employees, it's about supporting our customers. One of the ways that we do this is through a program that I direct called UPS Ignite, which is a program of executive education and mentorships and grants. And I want to thank Chiling and Janet for creating opportunities for us to help you do your work together. We did the AAPISTRONG, Proudly Unstoppable grants in 2021 and 2022, and we're just very proud to be able to celebrate these small business owners. So with that, I just want to thank you for making space for companies like UPS and your other sponsors to be able to stand beside you and behind you and help you to do the work that you're doing. So thank you for having us.
It is also my pleasure to invite our platinum sponsor from Meta, Maui Orozco, Manager of Economic Impact and Advocacy Programming.
Sorry you took a lot. It's fine. No, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I think I am like the second to last speaker. So for all of you who are still in the seats, making eye contact with me, engaged, I appreciate it. We made it. We're close to the bar, so I'll try to keep it short. But, I just wanted to start by saying thank you for the opportunity to address all of you tonight. I'm really, really honored to be here, and I have to start by just giving my thanks to Chi-Ling, of course, and the entire National ACE team and staff. Can we please give them a round of applause for what an incredible convening this has been and what it will be for the next couple of days. As Janet mentioned, I'm Maui Orozco. I'm on Meta's Economic Impact Programs team, and I'm the policy lead for a program called Meta Prosper, which was created specifically to support AAPI small business owners and leaders. Oh, shit, sorry. Sorry, I had a little tickle in my throat. Promise, it's not COVID, I promise. Meta is proud to support National ACE and the AAPISTRONG program. We are really proud that our products empower more than 3 billion people around the world, as well as more than 200 million businesses that use our apps to connect with customers and grow. We know, as we all do, that the past 2 years have been disproportionately tough for Asian and Pacific Islander businesses, and our own small business report revealed that AAPI-owned businesses faced higher closures and lower sales than their peers did in 2021. So at Meta, we knew that we really needed to double down on our investments to help small businesses. We shifted our trainings and resources online to reach more people. We committed $100 million in funding for small business invoices to be funded through our Invoice Fast Track program, and announced a $100 million global grants program to also support small businesses. And just earlier this year, thank you for clapping for that. And just earlier this year, we recommitted our support and partnered with National ACE and Reimagine Main Street by funding their grant program for 100 AAPI-owned small businesses. So we were really honored to get to work with you all there too. I just want to wrap up by saying, as a platform, we're really honored that business owners continue to choose our products to start their businesses, reach new customers, and connect with folks. And we know that that means we have a responsibility to support them, provide them tools, opportunities, and resources that they need. And we are just so honored and excited to be able to do that through partnerships with amazing organizations like National ACE. So thank you all. Thank you for the opportunity to address you all tonight, and I hope you have a great, wonderful rest of the conference.
For the final time tonight, please welcome back to the stage Dr. Karen Ang.
That's right, that's right. Hey, you guys in the back of the room, that's your Mark Kuhns, your Ernie Wongs, all you people that are sitting there networking. Give me 1 more minute, okay? So we have some very generous sponsors that just spoke. Let's give them a round of applause. All around, all the way in the back of the room too. So we're concluding the formal portion of our program. Thanks again for being here. I love every single one of you for being here, and I appreciate all of you. I'm not going to call these people out for talking while I'm talking. Jeez Louise, just 1 more minute. So the deal is, we're here to network, you're here to meet people, you're here to make the most of this conference, and I really want you to do so. And the cool part is we have an open bar. So drink right, drink smart, because if I don't see you at 8:15 in the morning while I'm back up here, I will know who you are. So with that being said, have a great evening, and thank you for being here. No more. No more. Music. Do it.